astray, and they do not know my ways. So I swore in my anger, they shall not enter into my rest. Mm. So,
Okay.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was actually, I used to read pretty much when I was in about the 40 years, your generation. I was reading yesterday in Numbers, and they talk about how when the children of Israel, uh, God was telling them to, He was giving them Canaan, the land of Canaan, and He told them to spy, they can go spy out the land, look at all the, stuff there and everything. So I guess they sent out, 10, 12 spies, whatever it was. And so all of them went out, and it's a beautiful land. But then the spies, they start looking. They saying that the people there were giants and big and everything, and so they were scared. They got real scared. It's most of them. Caleb and Joshua and Caleb are the only ones that believe God. The rest of them was like, oh no. So they went back and gave that bad report because God was telling them, okay, y'all gonna conquer this land, boom, boom, boom. And they came back with a bad report saying, oh, that it's full of giants and we can't survive and we can't do this and this is that, 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 that. So it scared all the rest of the people. So that fear went through all the rest of the people and it scared all of them to where they was like, oh no, God, He wants us to go into that land and be killed and this and happen and blah, blah, blah. And so they just cried that night because of that bad report. They believed that fear just went through all of them and they were just, really afraid. So Joshua Caleb's like, hey, we can do it, we can do it. But they was all, like, oh no, we're gonna die out here. We ain't gonna be able to conquer all that, and let's group up and go back to Egypt. And so it makes me think when I said that how that we go through different things and we just we're ready to give up. Stuff happen and we take our focus off of God and be like, nah, I can't do it. I can't. I can't make it. This is impossible. It's just, and you look at the circumstances, you're like, oh no. And so,
Anything happening
yeah,
recently?
you start doubting.
Anything happened recently you're trying to work through or anything like that? Like with other people or stuff like that going on?
No. So anyway, but I was just reading that last night, and it really made me think about how that it could be anything. We can God can say, all right, this and that, or this, like I said, different things happen, get discouraged, and so we started out with God,
Right.
but then we got to remember, just like I said in this lesson, that He is God, He's the Creator, He has all power, He has all knowledge, He has all wisdom, and that we can rely on Him.
Mm.
And so the children of Israel, they most of them, I think it was 12 spies. Two of them, they didn't die, until many years later. But the rest of them, I said, well, since y'all ain't want to obey me, and y'all don't want to believe, then y'all gonna end up getting what you wanted, dying in the wilderness. So you're gonna die, y'all gonna die out here in the desert. So they start crying and like, oh no, we ready to go fight now. We ready to go. We gonna go handle it. We gonna. Then God said, don't go. And they're like, oh, we gonna go. We don't want all this to happen. We ready to go now. So they felt motivated to go, and they got defeated. So I told them not to go. And so anyway, eventually they end up dying. Joshua and Caleb, and that next generation, they end up getting, the younger generation, they end up going to Canaan. All the older ones died off. But because of that negative story, and they listen to what they call it in my Bible, they called them fearful, fearful spies or something like that. They got that word it was called. And I was like, wow, that that group of people messed up that whole nation. But that bad report, that fearful report.
I wanted to comment on that. When my Sunday school teacher has spoken about the when God asked them to go down there and tear up everything and clean it up, they questioned God. They questioned God, and then that became bad. When God tells somebody to tear it and burn it all up, that's what He means. You burn it up. because he knows he's the one that made everything. But they didn't do that. They didn't burn it all up. So God had to go do another little. He was very, very disappointed. He's been disappointed a lot of times. I know when I hear my first mind, I don't know how crazy it sounds. I try to jump to it. That's the first mind. That's what you call the first mind. Cooley, did I tell the story right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I mean, you saw me yesterday with a young man when I saw you on the street, right? Young man. Yeah, you know, I found him in my camp area that, like usual, God puts me there, and he laid there on fentanyl and just died. And I said, well, you're going to follow me or you're not going to, right? But hey, I'm going way for it. And you saw him walking there, right? And you know, he walking me, and guess what? He followed me all the way to the cooling station. And I went and said, he's down there. I said, yep, I got you the water, but you ain't going to yourself. I can't save you. You got to save yourself. You're a father, and you got to step up. And you saw me, I read about you yesterday. And I said, you get rally as you go through life, think about what's good for you. Your father, start thinking about what you're doing for him. And you're a blessing yesterday, because I said, look, he's amazing. He brightens every day, you know. And I said, you don't say hi to men behind you. They're a brotherhood. And I said, that guy right there is amazing. You could be like him. And you know, I left him at the cooling station because I still had a lot of things to do, right? And you know, but I got him out that mattress. But the thing is, he's been fentanyl wanting to die, you know. And yeah, he has a daughter he has to think about, and everything. What was me? Well, I ain't saving you, you know. But he got to the cooling station, you know. But he saw how I was walking my ass off, right? He had to follow me, or guess what? Stay behind. And he made me miss lunch, you know. But I didn't get lunch, so neither did I, young man. You know, and I didn't have to help you, you know. So that's the same thing. But you were a blessing yesterday when I saw you, you know, because you're an example. I'm like, look at him. He makes everybody's day brighter, and you make a negative. You have a choice every day. And he got his button shaped so much by sandwich, but you know. And he wanted to come up after that. We went to up to the Lowe's, and he wanted to sit there and just listen to the girls start talk to him. And he missed the sandwich by one. But I told him get out of the sun. Well, it's only 1 second. Difference one makes, young man. And he missed that damn sandwich by about 1 second, right? And I said, see, you missed that damn sandwich by 1 second because you want to sit there and talk about your needs, you know. I said, see, welcome to my life. I said, I missed a lot of stuff trying helping you guys out. And I said, it won't happen anymore. You're here at the cooling station. Alicia got you here. Hope you get back, you know. So I stayed up here last night, and you know, and you reflected on that. But yeah, that's how my day goes every day. But some of these guys just out there sitting there, I'm like, if you're sitting there waiting to be saved and you're a father, guess what? You're the father you have to save. You know, it's their mindset. But she said it kind of far when she had first mind, you know. Sometimes when that first thing comes in your mind, when it's, if everybody's going that way, maybe you're the one and you go the opposite direction, you know. Because God doesn't need any more sheep. He needs, you know, shepherds, you know, and there's not enough of them, you know. And you know that from being a father. You know? Sometimes you don't want to get up in the morning, but you sure have to. And by the blessing, by God's grace, I got him on light rail. And he was doing Fetty the entire time. He goes, I don't judge you. But look how much time you cost me if I haven't had that, that little smoke, right? And there's a young black man on the light rail that I know. I was there today. His latest daughter got born, and probably about a year and a half ago. Now he has 3 of them. I said, that young man has three daughters. Can you imagine that? I said, get up every morning and getting your shit done, and you're sitting there wanting to smoke the little pipe, you know. And you know, and yet he made me late by just about 3 minutes yesterday. And 3 minutes really got me lunch and my sandwich. But hey, the lesson was me yesterday going, sometimes you have to keep going, because if you stand there, you're feeding their ego. And you don't need to feed their ego. You need to feed the other. They need to feed other people, you know. And it gets to, if you want to be loved, you need to love. If you want to be served, you need to serve. And if you want respect, you need to give respect, you know. Because as being a father, no one's saving you except for you, you know. So, you know, and like I said, you came at the perfect time yesterday, you know. It was, because honestly, I was sitting there going, if I go any further, Lord, I'm going to push this guy out the bridge, you know. But,
I was actually just coming from church service.
See? Hey, and we went up to, I'm thirsty. He wanted to go that. He wanted to get a soda. I said, you want to get soda, sugar in it, make you more thirsty, right? I said, follow me so we can actually eat. So we didn't, and we passed you and went to the park. Well, there's a church over there. I said, maybe you belong in church. Right now I need a water fountain, right? And that water fountain I wanted. Ironically, we went inside that park. He goes, look at that backpack. I said, no. See how that story earlier about how everybody steals your shit? You want to steal that backpack, don't you? And I said, I went and grabbed that backpack and said, I walked around who it was. It was a young man, just passed out totally in the middle of that spider thing. I said, yeah, you left your backpack. Oh, thanks. Yeah, you tell your stuff gets stolen. Stop stealing people's stuff, you know? I mean, and he said, do you have a phone? No, I'm going to wait and see. Pulls out 3 damn phones out of this thing. Where'd you, I found them. No, you didn't. You didn't find them. They're all locked because you stole them, you know? So, yeah.
They have a giveaway over there Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, there's all kinds of resources. People get up and take them, right? But guess what? If they're not doing it, nobody's going to take them there. I'm guilty of doing that. I honestly, I say I'm done being Captain Save a Ho. Save a Ho no mo, you know? Because sometimes you need more chiefs and not enough Indians, you know? So, but yeah, you were my blessing yesterday, as usual. Because he made me smile, and he gave me a little ep to get him a little further. So,
sometimes you see through other people the voice of God,
Mhm.
right? Or like maybe somebody you encounter or something like that. You see how God works through other people. Right? I see that sometimes with you guys when you guys are even sharing your word with folks, just your own struggle, your witness to that. And that's that leadership, really, or maybe even just saying the truth that will set somebody free from the lies that are going on in their own life, right? So and that's where that leadership comes in, to go do it, the caring, passion, array, because there's a lot of people who don't do that. Like, when you're speaking truth to somebody, then maybe they haven't heard any of that truth. But when they start thinking about it after you've left them or talked to them, they'll come back and like, oh man, he's right. But if you hear the voice of God, you gotta say something. You gotta say something.
That's true.
Like Chloe here says, I hear the voice of God tell me, sing this song, just sing it,
Mhm. Yeah,
right?
it's his gift.
Because you don't know who's gonna hear it or what's gonna happen. But that's where that praise and glory, right? Come, let us sing to the Lord. Or how does it go in the King James Version?
Mhm.
Yeah, he says,
Like
"Come,
that.
let us sing unto the Lord."
Yeah. And we'll shout with joy to the rock who saves us. That's that rock. You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes we think, the pastor, one of the priests we were talking the other day, in Mass, and he was saying, sometimes we put our, he goes, sometimes we put like what our goals are, even our things on something that we think is a treasure, right? Like he goes, it's like walking in a desert. You walk in a desert, you think you see all these wonderful things out in the horizon. You keep walking and walking, and it's not there, right? Yeah, it's an illusion,
Places.
a mirage, right? And sometimes we put our priorities and our things on things that really is not going to last. If I got the newest shoes or whatever it is, right? If I had this or if I had that, and then when we get it, it's like, oh, well, that's not really the treasure of it all. So, anyway, you don't know that until you lost everything. Like, what really matters?